What's going on, YouTube? Welcome to the Living Freed channel. My name is Tyler Freed, and in today's video, I'm going to be talking about what I believe to be the number one most important thing that every single truck driver should focus on. This is what I believe in this video. Everything is my opinion in this video. I'm going to be talking about what I believe to be the number one most important thing that anybody in this industry, whether you're a company, owner, operator, fleet owner, whatever stage you are at in your career, this is what I think long term most people should be focused on in this industry. And I'm going to be talking about this because recently I've been posting a lot of videos about the company that I'm currently at that I just came to about a month ago, and that is Crete Carrier. I've been talking about them for the last month and a half now, and just talking about my experience week to week. And I did say before I came to the company that I would be doing that. But in those videos, it has sparked a lot of debate. Like, me talking about Crete has sparked a lot of debate about whether or not Crete is a good company or not, and if they're one of the best companies out there, and yada, yada, yada. And what I think about when I see the debate about that, or I get questions about the company I'm at, I think to myself, like I think it's good. I think it's good content to talk about trucking companies. I do. I think it's important to have videos about many different trucking companies on here. I mean, there's YouTubers that talk about the company they're at all over the place. And I think that's great content because I think for people looking at getting into trucking, or experienced drivers looking at other companies to go to, it gives them information about a company. And they don't have to do that much research if the guy is giving you the right information, or the girl at that company is giving you the right information about the company. I try my best to give an honest opinion about whatever company I'm at. I did that with Millis. I gave you my view of the company, and just like here at Crete, I'm giving my view of the company. But at the beginning of the video, as I just said, I'm going to be talking about what I believe to be the most important thing overall, whatever company you work at, whatever position you're in. What is the most important thing I believe you should be focused on? Well, number one, obviously, is to get into trucking, get your training, get your experience, and let's say you have a year of experience, okay? First and foremost, you want to find the right company or position. Say you want to go after a year, become an owner-operator, whatever it is, find the best lane possible to maximize your income, okay? I think after a year of experience, you should go from making maybe 50, 60 your first year to 80 to 100 plus easily your second year. And then after 2 years, I think it's very doable. If you apply yourself and you sacrifice, you can make 100 plus, especially if you go the route of owning your own truck and doing that. But even as a company driver, if you make the right strategic move and go to the right company that pays you a high enough rate to make that kind of money, make six figures or more, and they're out there. I mean, Crete's one of those companies. Half the drivers here make $100,000 a year if you're OTR, and I don't know what their owner operators make. I don't know. I don't have all the details about that yet, but I do know that they're not doing it for no reason. Those owner operators, they're doing it to make more money than they could as a company driver. So, and then there's many other trucking companies out there. Like I said, me talking about Crete sparks debate about the company. Well, if someone makes another video, like some other YouTuber makes a video about some other company, it's going to spark debate about that company. And like I said, I think all that content is great and valuable. I really do. All the content I made about Millis, I mean, yeah, they're old videos. I'm not at Millis anymore, but would I recommend people start at Millis? Yes, I would, right? Would I recommend people coming to Crete? I think so far, so good. I don't really have a full-blown review yet. I'm going to wait about 6 months before I get you a really thorough review of what I think of them and my performance with the company. So, but I'm doing the weekly updates and monthly updates. I am doing that, but I'm not going to give an overall review to where, hey, I would recommend you coming here. I'm not going to do that. I did that at Millis because I was with them for about 3 years before I even started talking about them. So I felt confident about talking about Millis. But let me get to the point. I'm going to get to the point. Don't worry, because this is not the point of the video. The point of the video is all the debate's good. It's good to discuss different companies, different opportunities in trucking, right? Figuring out ways to maximize your income. I believe that's the most important thing you can do if you're trying to go from zero to building wealth, beginning the path of building wealth. And that's what my channel is really all about, honestly. It's about using trucking, because I share my journey about how I'm using trucking to build wealth outside of trucking. Okay? This is my main vehicle. This is my main income source, but I take money out of I take the income that I make. I invest about 50% of every check that I make into assets. And that is the most important thing. I believe use trucking no matter what you're in. Owner op company, doesn't matter. What division you're in, doesn't matter. Local, regional, OTR, whatever it is. Maximize your income, number one, and fix your personal finances. That's the main reason to get into trucking, especially if you're OTR. You're away from your family. You want to make it worth it, okay? You want to make this career worth it, and you can make a lot of money in trucking. But what good does making 100, 150, 200,000 a year do if you don't keep any of that, preserve any of that income, and take it and invest it and grow it over time? And preserve your wealth and grow your wealth over time by investing in assets that produce passive income and go up in value over time. And what could those be? You could invest in rental property, real estate. You could invest in the stock market. You could invest in other businesses. You could personally invest in other businesses, be like an angel investor or whatever. If you're really good with your money, if you get and stay out of debt and you save your money, you maximize your income out here, you get out of debt, that means your expenses are going to be low every month, and you can put 50-60% of your income away and invest that. And over time, I mean, really, honestly, if you invested, let's say you make $100,000 a year at your job, right? You're a company guy, you're making $100,000 a year. If you could save and invest 50,000 of that, live on 50, invest 50 for 10 years, you will have invested $500,000. And you can do the math, go look up a retirement calculator. I don't have the exact numbers in front of me right now, but if you invested $50,000 a year for 10 years, you would be a millionaire. You would probably be able to retire, because this is assuming that you got and stayed out of debt before you started investing, and you invested that money consistently for those 10 years. You invested $50,000 no matter what. 50% of everything you made, you put into assets that would grow over time. If you do that, any of you that watch my videos, any of you that are looking at trucking, that should be your plan, is to build wealth long term. If you want to go big in trucking, nothing wrong with that. But eventually you will get to the point where you're making so much money where you got to put that money somewhere where it's protected and you can grow it over time and really build long-term wealth. See, trucking is a cash cow. Trucking is a way to make a lot of money in a short amount of time. You can make a lot of money here, but it's better to take that money out of the game, out of the business, and put it into something that is sustainable long term. Okay, trucking is a very volatile industry, but it is great to use to get yourself to where you truly want to go, right? I'm using trucking, and this is me personally, I'm using trucking to fund other investment vehicles that I'm into. Okay, I'm using trucking to get me to the next step of my life where I truly want to go. I'm investing in my dream using the income I'm making from trucking. And that's my point, is just, I always talk about in every video I make, okay? Every video I make, if you're new to the channel, I appreciate you for clicking on the video. Every video I make, go back and look, I talk about building wealth. And the reason I do that is because there's a lot of talk about everything pertaining to trucking in general. Just you name the topic about trucking itself, a video's been done about that. But very little videos are talking about, hey, be smart with your money, get out of debt, use this job to get yourself out of a hole you're in and into the wealth category. You can build wealth in trucking easily. You can do it, especially if you're single, young, single, not married, don't have any kids. You come out here and live in the truck for a few years, man, you could put away so much money. You can get completely out of debt, put away so much money, probably after a few years, pay cash for a house. After you pay cash for a house, a few more years, if you stick it out, man, you could buy rental property in cash. I mean, you could do so many things. Invest in the stock market, like I said. invest in buying your own truck, pay cash for it, whatever. There's so many things you can do, but you just have to have a strategy for building wealth. Think in terms of wealth. Don't think in terms of what company I'm working at or what company this guy's working at. Look, there's so many different trucking companies. You can do what I'm talking about at so many trucking companies. I just happen to pick one that worked for me. Crete works for me. They're not the only company out here, though. Not every truck driver can work at Crete. It's impossible. So you can do this at many different companies. There's great companies out there to work for. This industry is all about the effort you put in, to be honest with you. I don't care how anybody talks to me here at Crete. As long as they get me the miles, I'm making the money, and I can build wealth in what I want to build wealth in, I'm good. As long as I can keep investing and keep getting ahead, I don't really care what the company, how the company treats me or anything. I mean, you're not going to disrespect me regardless of what company you're at or what company I'm at. You're not going to disrespect me. You're not going to disrespect really any experienced driver. You know why? Because the beautiful thing about being in this industry, and I will kind of end on this, because I've made a lot of points in this video, but the main point is, hey, focus on acquiring assets. That's the main point. Acquiring assets, building wealth with your income from trucking. That's the main point, but I will end on this. No company can treat you bad if you have experience, because you have a CDL. I mean, they can treat you bad, but all you got to do is leave, because there's another company waiting out there for you to go work for them. If I quit Crete, I'm not going to, but if I quit Crete tomorrow, I would have another job the next day. That's the beautiful thing about having a CDL. You really do have leverage being an experienced truck driver with a year or more of experience, no accidents, no tickets, nothing, safe, clean background. You can go work for so many different companies, especially if you're somebody that has all their endorsements. And man, I mean, the sky is the limit in this industry. You can make as much money as you want to make. It's out there. There's a lot of negativity about trucking, but the reason, and this is what inspired me honestly to make this channel, was there's so much negativity on the trucking industry. There is. And the reason I made this channel was because I know that most people getting into this business, they're not getting into this business with the intention of using it for what they should use it for, which is exactly what I'm talking about. Everybody, I don't care who you are, and you could be outside of the trucking industry. This is every American, but especially trucking. If you're getting into this industry and you're going to make the sacrifice of being away from home and giving up the quote unquote normal life, right? Being home all the time, being around family, yada, yada, yada. If you're going to make that sacrifice, make it worth it. Make it worth it. I truly believe that. That is my passion to talk about this, honestly, because I truly want my channel to affect somebody out there that's just like sitting around, they don't have anything going on in their life, and they hear my video and they're like, man, I'm going to get into trucking and I'm going to do what that guy's saying, you know, because I guarantee you, if you listen to me, you get into trucking, you pay off all your debt first. Don't worry about saving, none of that. Pay off all your debt, build a huge emergency fund, and then after that emergency fund, start investing in assets, acquiring assets, and think in terms of, okay, I'm going to maximize my income. Yes, earned income is important, but the most important income, and there's different types of income, the most important income you can make and have is portfolio income, which is capital gains, right? You buy a $100,000 house and you hold it for 5 years, and 5 years later it's worth 150, and during that time period you were holding that house, you were earning 10,000 a year in cash flow, free positive cash flow, holding and waiting for that house to appreciate. And this is an example, okay? This is not exact numbers. It's just an example. Let's say you're earning, 10% a year, whatever, on that property, and you're holding it as it appreciates over time. That is what I'm talking about. And that income you're receiving on that property is dividend income. It's taxed differently than earned income at your job. You want to start thinking in terms of assets. You don't want to acquire liabilities. Don't get into trucking and start buying cars and wasting your money on stuff. Get that money, get out of debt, and start investing that money. And 10, 15 years later, you will thank people like me. I mean, I'm not the only one talking about this, but I think in trucking, there's very few people talking about this. There's a few of them out there that I've seen, and I really appreciate those guys for making videos like that, talking about long-term wealth strategy. You have to have that. If you don't have a wealth strategy for trucking, it will be a waste of your time. It really will. I think it is a waste of time if you're not using it for what it should be used for. You can become really wealthy as a truck driver if you do it right, if you play your cards right. You really can. I'm positive on the industry because I made a video about that I think it was a couple weeks ago, talking about why I'm so positive on trucking. It's because it gives you the opportunity to earn a lot of money and have very little expenses and invest most of the money you make. You could really get ahead with this business. So anyway, I just wanted to make a video about this because, like I said, there's been a lot of debate in recent videos about Crete. And look, I think Crete's a great company. If you want to debate that, that's fine. But long term, I'm not thinking about the company I'm at. I'm thinking about earning as much money as I can wherever I'm at and taking most of that money, preserving it and investing it and growing my wealth over time so that eventually I don't care about the debate of any trucking company, because no company is going to own me in any industry. It doesn't matter what it is, because eventually I don't want to have a job. I love to work, but I want to be financially free to where I can work on whatever I want. That's my goal. That's what I'm doing with trucking. And I truly believe that everybody in this industry should do that with trucking. I truly believe that. So if you disagree, that's fine. If you like the video, again, please like the video, sub to the channel. Also, stay tuned for more videos in the future. And God bless. Thank you for watching. I hope everybody has a blessed day. Peace out.